Hello and welcome to In Simple Terms with Satish. Today, let's understand how your map knows which road you're on. Imagine you're driving on a highway and there is a service road running right beside it. On your screen, the location marker might look like a dot, an arrow, or in Google Maps, the blue dot. But the job is the same. Keep that marker on the road you are actually using. That sounds simple until the two roads are only a few meters apart. Somehow, the marker usually stays on the highway instead of jumping to the service road. That feels obvious when it works, but technically, it is not obvious at all. Your phone does not know your exact position perfectly. It is estimating from messy evidence. The first evidence is GPS. GPS satellites broadcast timing and position signals from space. Your phone receives signals from multiple satellites and compares when those signals arrived. Because radio signals travel at the speed of light, tiny timing differences become distance estimates. NIST explains that a device needs at least 4 satellites to get a position fix, and today's GPS can locate a position to within about 4.9 meters or 16 feet. That sounds precise, but it is not enough for navigation. 4 or 5 meters can put you in the wrong lane, on the wrong ramp, or on the road beside you. And in real places, GPS gets messy. Tall buildings can reflect signals. Tunnels and parking garages can block them. Trees and dense city streets can weaken them. So maps need a second kind of evidence: the phone's own sensors. Modern phones use sensor fusion. They can combine GPS, Wi-Fi, network clues, accelerometer data, gyroscope data, compass direction, speed, and recent movement. The accelerometer can sense movement. The gyroscope can sense turning. Recent points can estimate speed. So the app is not only asking where is the phone, it is asking what story best explains the last few seconds of movement. The third kind of evidence is the map itself. A digital map is not just a picture, it is a road graph. Roads are connected segments with directions, turns, ramps, lanes, speed limits, and restrictions. This is where map matching happens. The app compares the noisy location signal against possible roads and asks which path is most likely. If you're moving north at 40 miles per hour and one nearby road goes north while another road goes east, the north road becomes more likely. If you just turned right, the road graph checks which turns were physically possible. If you are on a highway, the app should not jump you onto a service road every time the GPS drifts a few meters. So the location marker is not the raw GPS point, it is the system's best answer. Here is the core idea. Navigation is a probability problem. For a moment, the app may think highway 80%, service road 20%. Then you slow down, curve right, and keep moving along the ramp. Now the evidence changes. The ramp becomes more likely, the highway becomes less likely, and the app moves the marker. This is also why maps sometimes correct themselves after a few seconds. They are not embarrassed, they are updating the best explanation as new evidence arrives. Maps also show uncertainty visually. When Google Maps is not sure, its blue dot can have a light blue circle around it. The smaller the circle, the more certain the app is. In stacked roads, tunnels, or dense cities, two paths can look almost identical from noisy signals. In that moment, the app is not confused because it is dumb. It is confused because the evidence is genuinely ambiguous. The clear takeaway is this: the location marker is not a perfect measurement. It is an estimate that keeps improving. In simple terms, maps combine GPS, phone sensors, Wi-Fi and network clues, a road graph, map matching, and probability. All of that works together to turn messy real-world signals into one useful answer. You are probably here. If this helped you understand the topic in simple terms, follow or subscribe to In Simple Terms with Satish and share this episode with one friend who likes technology. I will see you in the next episode.